Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about how to capture, render, and upload into 1080p 60 FPS onto YouTube, which is the new standard for gaming content on YouTube, and I'm going to show you how to make your videos in the exact same quality that you're seeing right here. If you'd like to see it in 1080 60, I'd highly recommend that you open up either Chrome or Internet Explorer and select those options. The first thing that you're going to need is an Elgato HD60 to capture in 60 FPS. It looks something like this. This one's mine right here, and if you don't happen to have one of these, well then I have you covered, because there is a giveaway to an Elgato HD60 linked down there in the description. You can click on that. And if you're wondering what's propping up my HD60, it's my awesome Ninja Turtle cup, which is not going to be given away at all. That one's mine and I'm keeping it and you can't have it. First thing you need to do after hooking up your capture card is ensure that whatever console you're using is set into the right resolution. I'm using Xbox One today, so make sure that it's set in 1080p. This is an important step. If you're playing any PlayStation 4 game, make sure that your PlayStation 4 is also set into 1080p. In order to record beautiful gameplay like this, what you're going to need to do is go to the Elgato settings menu and make sure that everything's set up properly. In your Elgato software, click the tool wheel on the top right and make sure that you have export into the right folder, enable flashback recording, and I like to mute my live commentary. In the sharing tab, it's very important that you have the always convert new videos to MP4 original box checked. Make sure that one is good to go. And that's pretty much all you're going to need from this menu, so I'm going to go ahead and click cancel here. Next up, click the settings button right underneath it, and you're going to open up the Elgato HD settings. Make sure you've got it on the right input device, HDMI, color standard. Allow 60 FPS is important, and profile 1080. The rest of these things I wouldn't bother with too much, but on the capture page, make sure we're in 1080 and allow 60 FPS. Those are very, very important, and you'll see your exact bit rate and frames per second and stuff up there on the top. Go ahead and click OK, and you'll see exactly what you're recording in this little area. I'm dragging my mouse around, and I'm 1080 60, so we're solid. I've got the clip that I want to record, and what I do is I move down in the bottom right and click this little button, drag it back on the blue line. You can kind of see the screen moving around. I'm moving backwards and forwards in time to select my clip. I stop basically where I want the clip to begin, click capture, wait just a second, click it again, and I've used the flashback recording to record the clip so you don't have to micromanage it. It's just always recording, and that's very nice. With that clip selected, you then want to go to the Edit tab. If you want to edit this in the Elgato software, I'll show you how to do Sony Vegas next. This is the preview window. You drag the blue line to select. You can click on either side and trim it. I'm going to trim a little bit off the beginning, and then I'm going to move and trim a little bit off of the end just to make it sure that it's a unique clip. After you're done with this, it's pretty much set. You want to move on to the right-hand side under Share. MP4 1080 and MP4 Original will both export to pretty much the exact same settings using our method. They can do different things, but if you just follow my instructions, it won't really matter which one you click. So I'm going to go ahead and click both of those, and then I'm going to open up the folder in which the files are, and you'll see that when I right-click them and go to Properties, you will see that each one of them is 1080p and 60 FPS. It says 59 because it's 59.99999, just because that's how our frame rates work, but that's 60 FPS, and these files are good to go on YouTube. If you want to go the Sony Vegas route, which is how I edit all of my videos here on this channel, what you want to do is go to File and Project Properties. This is important to get right. And in your project properties, you're going to want to make sure that your height and width are 1920 by 1080 and that your frame rate is 60. Sometimes it might be 30 or whatever. That's probably the default. Just type in 60 and it's good to go. You want to make sure that all of the other options match: Gaussian blur, best rendering. We don't have any angle, our pixels are square, we use the none baseline for the de-interlacing and all this other sort of stuff. Leave the pixels 8-bit. Just match the settings that you see here exactly and hit OK. The next step is we want to import media, which I actually had the wrong tab open. You need to go down to Project Media on the bottom left. I'm looking for my import tab and missing it. Click Import Media, and then you want to select the files, which in my folder you can see all the in-depth stuff that I've been working on. We're going to come down here and select the Elgato folder, and it's going to get very meta here because you can see some of the files that I've been working on, but I'm going to open up the gameplay that I just captured, making sure I grab the original and not one of the rendered ones. It'll import pretty quickly. You can drag and drop it onto the tracks. Do not adjust your settings, always click no. One of the most useful tips I can give you in this entire episode is if you want to, well, resize it so you can see it, of course, but you want to right click on the track and disable resample, because if you notice as I change it, the video has a certain blurriness to it, which is kind of annoying. But if you right click and go to switches and disable resample, it will completely remove that blurriness and it drastically increases video quality. So always be sure to do that. I'm going to trim both sides very quickly in Sony Vegas because that's just, I don't know, I like making unique clips. I'm not just going to re-render the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and select the whole clip for rendering. We're going to go to File, not that one. We're going to go to File, hit Render As, and inside Render As, we are going to make a custom template. That is not the right one. That is right. There we go. 60 FPS customized template so that you can see it. You can see that the settings in this template are essentially the same as my project properties. I've got it in 1080p 60. It's in 60 frames per second. I just typed that one in custom. Of importance, you want to have a variable bitrate down here and to pass rendering with the maximum bits per second at 15 million and the average at 10 million. These are very important. Make sure that you get that right. Pause the video, write these down, take a screenshot, make sure you have these settings matched exactly, and once you do, you can save them. I'm just going to go up here to the top and type in, whatever name you want, and we're going to hit save, and then you can just select them so you don't have to punch them in. Okay, and render in those settings, and we are good to go. Whenever that's done, that's going to be YouTube ready. This is the rendered gameplay and the rendered gameplay quality that you will get using those settings, which I think is quite good for 1080p 60 FPS over the internet. That's all for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and be sure to check out Elgato's website down there in the description. Drifter out.